Okay, today is Sunday. A- As you know, I got a new hairdo. My son told me, he said, Mama, it's two things you ain't good at. He said, frying chicken and picking out an afro. So I got a new look, okay? Today we're going to talk about the word G. You said, what is G? Well, while we out, we're going to talk about greed, pastor's greed. Did you know that a lot of these mega churches supported Trump? Why are you looking all shocked? Yeah, a lot of these mega churches supported Trump because Trump was giving them, we have millionaire pastors here. We have people like Joyce Myers, Kenneth Copeland. They have numerous houses. T.D. Jakes, when he gave his daughter a $20 million wedding, and then, he got caught up in that Diddy thing, and all of a sudden his daughter became anointed in the prayer, and her husband became anointed in the prayer. It's just amazing how it is. But I want to tell you a story, and this was true. I went to two churches. When I got a little older, I went to two churches, and when I went to church, I was blindsided thinking that the pastor had more anointing than me, talking to God. And I used to run to the altar, and I used to pay my tithe because I was waiting on God to bless me. See, I had two kids, and I was, I was getting the support, the financial support from the father, but I had a hard time because I didn't have a true family structure that helped me, like, when I went going to college and all of that and stuff like that. So, mosquito just attacked me on my back. You know it's going to hurt. So anyway, so I didn't have that structure. So I dropped out of college and I started to get jobs and stuff. And I didn't, it was hard for me then. It was really hard for me. And it's by the grace of God that, he kept me. So anyway, I went to this church and I didn't have a lot of money, and I used to put like $5 or $2 and stuff. And you said, Samantha, that ain't a lot of money. But back here in the 90s, and 2000, the late 90s, early 90s and stuff, it was a lot of money. It was. It was. $5 could have filled your tank, got you a lot more gas than what it is now. And $5 could have bought y'all a dollar meal at a fast food restaurant. It could have did a lot of stuff. So, I had a utility bill. Back then, my utility bill was like $100 and some dollars. MLG&W wasn't robbing then. They was just they were doing petty theft back then. They wasn't robbing. That's the light company in Memphis. They wasn't doing this big robbery they doing that, this heist they doing that. But at that time, they was just doing petty theft. And I had to call my Congressman Harold Ford Sr., and I told him, well, they didn't even care. They said, give me your name and what's your address? And I gave my name and I gave my address, and they called me back and said, my light bill was $100 and some dollars. And they said, Miss Samantha, go down there and take $5 down there. So my bill $100 something. Take $5 down there and tell them, and 2 weeks later, if you ain't got the rest of it, you call us back. That's them forwards. That's what them forward boys do. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to the church. You're rushing me. So anyway, I went to church and I finally got the nerve to ask the pastor, one of the pastors. I said, hey, I wanted to know, I got a light bill. Told him how much it was. And I said, I was wondering could the church help me? this was after church, and I went to him in private, and there was still people in the hallways and stuff. And he said, well, let's go in my office, because I got to see how you pay tithe. So I got to see how long you've been paying tithe. I said, wow. I felt so embarrassed because, I didn't pay $100 and some worth of tithe. I think I paid like maybe 50 something, but still. I was so embarrassed. I said, now, you know what? That's okay. No, come on in. We gonna help you. No, I don't want no help. I'm okay. I'm good. So I was preparing for my lights to get cut off on $100 and some. And yeah, it's okay to talk about your struggle. It is okay, because you know what? I'm so thankful where God brought me, where I was and where God brought me. And so I went home, and my light bill was coming up. That first week it was coming up. I said, I don't know how I'm going to get this money, because, I was having a hard time finding a babysitter to work this job. I didn't have, like I said, support. Not like that. So, but it's okay. And went to the mailbox, and I opened it up. And I was like, oh, I saw a bill. I saw another light bill. I'm like, Jesus. I said, they had added on some more stuff. They had really made it made. Really. Oh, my God. They made it made, man. I got to pay that. And then it's another light bill coming. Ooh, what's Samantha going to do? So I opened it up. And somebody had class action somebody. And they were sending out checks, and I didn't get the memo. And I got a check for $700 and some. What you say? $700 and some. I opened up my second utility bill, and with the $100 and something, along with that, it was $233. I said, this check can't be real. Can't be real. Took it to my bank. And they said, yeah, it's real. Cashed it. I put a little something in my checking account. Went down there, and I sent Congressman Ford a thank you letter, a big old thank you letter. I went and paid the whole utility bill off. And that day we had a feast. Ooh, we had a feast out of this world. We went to the Wendy's where they had $1 meal, and I spent $15. I said, y'all can get anything on that $1 meal. Yeah. You thought I was going to say somewhere else, but no, that $1 meal was the bomb back then. Y'all just don't know. But anyway, one of the pastors went after Pastor Ray died. One of the pastors went to and started his own church. And I liked how he pastored, and I went to his church. And again, I was faced with something financial, and I didn't want to tell the pastor. I didn't want to ask nobody because I had a bad experience over at the other church. And, and he came to me one day, and he said, you know what? He said, I noticed that you didn't put money in the church. So I'm getting ready to get defensive now. I'm really am. He said, I know when you come here, it's been about, a month. He said, you ain't put no money in the church. Okay. Yeah. He said, he told me this after church. He said, his wife was standing next to him, and I said, this church, by the way, is on Oakland Street in South Memphis, right when you pass that railroad track on Parkway. You go to the left, and then it's a street off of I think the second street off of Parkway, and then you make a left, and it's a little brown church. Church ain't no bigger than little house. It's just got a what is it? A sanctuary and a bathroom. That's it. That's it. Anyway, he said, you know, I noticed that. He said, here, take this. Take this. He said, yeah, take it. He said, that ain't much, but take it. I said, Pastor, I can't take nothing from the church. He said, it didn't come from the church, it came from me. And it didn't come from the church account, it came from my checking account. He said, because I work for a living. See, my pastor used to have service at 9:30 because he had to be at work some days on Sundays at 12:30, and he didn't want to be late for work. He used to work for Great Dane Trailers, and when they shut down, he became a car dealership. And that's how he got his cars, his wife's cars, and all of that. When people turned cars in, he bought her a car. He didn't buy her a new car, he bought her a car, a decent car. When he preached, he didn't have a loud sermon. He spoke of the Bible. I mean, he explained it to him, to you in your own understanding. That's what I loved about that church. So anyway, a lot of y'all have been given to these mega churches and stuff. And now you're going to see who gives back. Because see, these churches know that right now, tithing is down. Tithing is down very well. Because you know why? Because people are losing their jobs. People are losing this. But they still see that image of that in order for you to get to heaven, you got to give Jesus some money. And you know, he gonna bless you. He gonna give you that mansion on earth. He's gonna give you those 6-7 cars. He's gonna give you your wealth and stuff. He's gonna do all this, do all of that. And in reality, some of y'all are still just as broke as the day that y'all start really tithing. See, now you can't really tithe. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to tithe like that. That past anniversary gonna hurt your anniversary. That pastor, that building fund gonna have to be used on your house for your lights, your utility, your health care, your food, all of that. And see, Kenneth Copeland, he got to have some money to keep up all these houses that he have. That plane that, you know, what God told him. Well, if God told him that he needed a new plane, surely God know how to help him keep that plane, so he ain't got to beg you. Surely, as Clefo Dollar asked for a plane that God gave him, and all that, you know, what is it what's that lady name? Juanita Bynum. Surely, as God told y'all that give her $1,500, he knows she got it. Surely, when this economy hit, that some of these pastors are gonna say, "Hey, God, you know, remember when you told me that you told me I can get this plane?" Well, surely the notes are due, or the church membership is down, the tithing is down. I'm sure, God, you make a way. I notice, you know, it's something amazing about pastors today and back then. See, back then when pastors had a problem, they prayed, and then God led the people to them and all of that. But now, when God tell them, "Hey, you got to get a plane," they don't do the faith and pray and ask God how they gonna get it. No, they come and pray on your mentality and tell you. They pray, PREY, on you. They don't say, you know, oh, God bless me, like we do. God bless me with a car. When God bless you with a car, surely he got resources for you to pay the car off. Even when things go bad, he still make a way for you. But it's amazing how some of these churches sit here and say, "Oh, God told me I got to come up with $60 million for a plane." They don't ask God how they going to do it. They come and say, "Oh, God told me that he gonna bless me he need to bless me with a $60 million plane, and I need $1,500 for y'all." God ain't in the begging. God wouldn't allow you to beg if he told you something. But see, people don't know the master. They don't know God. They know God only when it's beneficiary to them. And that's why the church is going to be exposed because some of these pastors underminingly. See, look at Swagger son. Oh, he told you if you vote for Kamala Harris, you better get out of my church. Don't you come back. Don't come back. I wonder how his congregation feel now that some of them are finna lose a job. They finna lose health care. They finna lose benefits. They finna lose retirements. They gonna have to sell your house. Have you noticed now? I noticed where I'm at that a lot of people are putting their house on the market. Why they putting their house on the market? Chattanooga has always been strong in the housing market, even when the pandemic. But see, now things finna get ready to change. See, fear coming up. So my suggestion is you put all your money into the storehouse, which is all these mega churches, all these big churches, all these churches that don't give back. Because the majority of the churches here, they have food drives. They have clothing drive. Not just where they give free food away, they give free clothes away. Because Chattanooga is a tourist town, and they have homeless people. They have homeless people. Up until it was a felony to camp, it's a place that was on the other side of Chattanooga that wasn't tourists. Them people had made them our neighborhood in the woods. See, I got woods. Yeah, I got them. Whole bunch of them. Would I go in it? Oh, hell no. I hear some stuff in there. It scares me. Probably somebody else. It's somebody that was over here on this side. I'm surrounded by trees and forests. They had a tent and a cooler there, but they on the other side. So today, just out of practice, go and ask your pastor. Tell them you need help. Tell them you need help. Tell them you need help and see how they react. Some of these mega churches ain't gonna they gonna talk about, they gotta change their sermon now, because when you stop giving, they gonna have to preach to you about how tithing and offering is gonna help bless you when you lose your job. No, prayer is gonna help you when you lose your job. Prayer is what sustains you when you lose your house, when you're up against something, not giving to the pastor. And I learned, before I give a church something, I give somebody that I know that is in need. That's how that works. That's how it works.